Successfully juggling through your many tasks while trying to be the best version of yourself can be one of the most rewarding experiences of life, yet a rather daunting task. Now join Cresta Durojaiye, Africa's leading productivity expert and life strategist, as she equips and empowers you with practical tools that bring organization and structure to help you be more efficient and live your best life possible. If you struggle with pulling it all together and need someone to handhold you through the process, this is the podcast for you. You're listening to Life Lessons with Cresta Durojaiye.
Hi, and welcome to Life Lessons. Our task this week as we work together is to raise the giant within. Now, I strongly believe that there's a giant in every one of us, and we were all created to play our part in impacting our world. Okay, so you may wonder if there is indeed a giant within. Why do I feel small? Why don't I feel the strength of a giant welling up inside of me? Or, bursting forth on the outside? Some may ask, why do I put in so much and yet feel that what comes out at the end is too small or too little compared to, how much I put in? Some others may still ask, why then am I not making giant strides in my endeavors? All these questions and many others are mind-boggling questions that trouble us every now and again. And they end up casting doubts as to whether we really are worth it. Now, they leave us sometimes wondering if we are indeed called to greatness, as everyone keeps saying. And, if there is indeed a giant on our inside. Now, these questions are obviously an indication that we need to take immediate action and immediate control. We need to start by immediately raising our standards and beginning to put steps, intentional and deliberate steps in place towards achieving the standards that we want to raise. Now, most times we fail and we fall because we major in our minors and we spend majority of our time and our resources on building the things that are least important in our lives. But the truth is, in doing these things, sometimes we don't even realize that we're doing them. Sometimes we don't know any better. That's why it is the way that it is. So we must begin to, consistently and actively engage ourselves in focusing on building the things that really matter. The things that matter most in our lives. Passive engagement won't quite cut it. We need to actively engage, and we need to be sure that we are engaging on what it is that really matters. Now, these 3 tips will help us find a way and, navigate our way through it. First of all, we need to make a decision on what it is that we need to focus on. We need to decide what our majors are. We need to identify them. We need to dig deep and bring out what it is that our majors are and what our core really is in life. Secondly, we need to decide these things that we say are our core or our majors. What do they really mean to us? Why have we identified them as our core? Thirdly, we need to know what it is that we need to do to achieve the results we want as it concerns our core. With these 3 steps, we will be able to identify our core. It will help us know why it is that our core is our core. And it will also help us know what we need to do specifically to begin to achieve the goals that we have set concerning our core. Achieving our core goals or our core competencies or the things that are our majors is what really makes the giant that we should be. Getting this right kind of, awakens greatness and awakens the giant inside of us and causes the giant within us to begin to thrive, to begin to grow, to begin to blossom. And as we continually and, more intentionally succeed with this, we find out that we are building our core and who we really are. Now this week, let's take time out to use the 3 steps to identify and raise the giant that is within every one of us. The giant needs to arise and come out to the limelight. So I'll leave you with this, and I look forward to meeting you again next week. Remember to share your learning points and personal progress as you go on. You just never know who needs to be encouraged by your growth process and journey. So keep on keeping on and keep on working towards identifying who you are really called to be and raising the giant within. Cheers.
If you enjoyed this episode of Life Lessons with Cresta Durojaiye, now don't forget to leave a comment and of course share this episode with those you love.